thousands of hours of training. That's what creates the bond between dog and handler. It's a bond that can cause extreme pain, as in the case of J. Paul Jackson and Keith Allison. Each had 2 dogs who qualified for the semifinals here in Northfield. It made for some painful choices.
You got to make a decision, and you got about 10 minutes. And you got to make a decision, and you got about 10 minutes.
Each had to choose between his own dog and a dog he trains for a client. Each felt bound by professional ethics to go with the client dog. Sadly, having to kennel an old friend who might be on his last tour of duty.
Welcome to the Super Retriever Series. I'm Tommy Sanders. How great is it to have our competition here in Minnesota today? Such a terrific waterfowling tradition here. And with the 10,000 lakes, like it says on the license plate, anyone and everyone who wants to find duck and goose hunting can find a great place to do it. We have found a great place today, Oak Ridge Kennels near Northfield. And Justin Packett, today our hunt test is a little bit different in that no water, number one.
No water at all. Should be fast and furious, very quick. A lot of marks coming out.
Let's see the course.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, handlers, jump in here. Let's get in here kind of tight. There's the first one. It comes out about 143. You're going to swing right. And you've got this one at about 85 yards coming right to left out of the trees here. Sit. Good. Walk that one down, then you've got this little eraser bird coming out right in front. It's going to land about 10 yards. Make sure your dog stays steady right there. Shoot those 3. Yellow. Now remember, you got to clean up the right side first before you can tackle that long mark left. When you pick up those 3, be sure you move to the right-hand side of the box, right in here. Stay in line with this bush. There will be a severe penalty, a 10-point penalty if you don't attack that bush. That blind's about 150, 152 yards. Tall grass at the end. Be sure that you finish it. Don't take your eyes off your dog until you see that duck in his mouth.
First to the line, Steve Eric of Bellefontaine, Ohio. The dog Dory, 5 years old, black lab. Steve is not a full-time trainer. Actually, he's in manufacturing.
All the way from Bellefontaine. You know, Steve's got to be feeling pretty good right now. He just passed, he and Dory, I should say, just passed the International Spring Grand held in Memphis. So he's hot. He's ready to roll.
Steve says he always keeps a Pepto-Bismol handy. Apparently it puts him through the ringer to go through these tests.
It's tough, I tell you. This course right here is extremely difficult. The distances are pretty short, but it is not for the meek, and it is sure not for the claustrophobic. I mean, it's in there tight. It's a lot more difficult than it looks like.
We are looking for the fewest number of faults. That's what makes the best score. Major faults at 5 points, minor faults 2 points.
Some of the major faults you'll see will be breaking. This course is very tight. Look for dogs that cross that line. A minor penalty would be a whistle. Any whistle with exception of the come-in whistle, which they consider a cast, so it's not actually a penalty point. Again, this mark shows you why it's so difficult. I mean, the ground is very undulating, a lot of sponge, water, tall grass.
What?
He's getting her right in the area. He needs to push her back just a little bit right here. And this is what I would consider a pure handler's course. Any dog should be able to handle this as far as getting in the area, but the strategy of knowing when to blow the whistle, when not to blow the whistle, reading your dog, knowing your dog, it's crucial.
The handler has to mark well, too.
The handler's got to mark every bird on this course. There will be some dogs that pick this thing up clean, but they will definitely be in the minority.
And they might be a little lucky.
A little lucky, there you go. He's racking up quite a few points on this second mark. And see what happens is everything compounds itself. Now she's had a long hunt on this one. She comes back, now she's got to go for the long left bird, which is even worse cover. Burned up the memory there. Then you've got to run that blind. You've got to move over to the right side of that box. You've got to attack that bush, hit it head on. I'm telling you, this is very, very difficult.
Dory looks like she marked it. Yes, she did.
Smack that one. Now he's got to move to the right side of the box. There's a severe penalty of 10 points if they do not run through that little tiny hole in that bush. You'll see if he hits it right on whether she's on line or not.
That's the way you do it, right through that snag there.
That's right. Perfect initial line. The other part is that the handlers don't know that. All they've been told is they've got to finish this blind. When they get down around the pole right here, he's got to hit a whistle just a second quicker there because you lose your dog. There's tall grass on each side, right or left. So if it gets a little bit offline, you got to hit that whistle immediately. This test is going to rest fully on the shoulders of every handler.
Well, there she's got it. So 40 points for Steve, Eric, and Dory, one of 6 handler retriever teams running in this flight of our semifinal contestants in the Super Retriever Series. Here from Northfield, we'll see more when we return, including Dana Fritzmeier and her husband, Mark. It's a big air competition on the way as well.
ESPN's presentation of the Super Retriever Series is brought to you by Sport Dog, world leader in e-training, Max Prairie Wings, America's premier waterfowl outfitter, and War Eagle Boats, the official aluminum boat of Ducks Unlimited.
I'm Mark Fritzmeier, and this is my dog MD's I Am What I Is. Her call name is Emmy. She's a master hunter and qualified all age in the field trials. I think, comparing her to the other 2 Super Retriever Series, I think this year she seems to be running with a lot more confidence, and she's the type of dog, if she worries about certain things, she gets nervous out there. She doesn't perform at where she's capable of.
Mark Fritzmeier and Emmy, we've seen them many, many times here on the Super Retriever Series. You might wonder why that short bird. Well, as Justin mentioned, it's an eraser bird, and also it tests their manners at the line.
Yeah, she's not the, and Mark will tell you, she is not the most well-mannered dog in history at the line. But she's got a lot of talent. She's a great marking dog. She's very well known for her handling, but she's a strong marker as well.
Oh,
whoa, little bump there.
As we mentioned, some uneven territory out there, but man, she really smacked that one.
Man, I'm telling you. She just needs a little luck. She's been the bridesmaid a couple times. Remember last year in the finals, she missed the great outdoor games by 1 point, one little tiny point, and she just needs a little luck.
This time around, they're battling some health problems with Emmy.
Yeah, she's had some chronic ear infections that she's dealt with off and on. Mark believes that she may have lost up to 75 or 80% of her hearing, so and a shoulder problem as well. So this may be her last shot at the big dance.
The worst of all about the hearing problem, it's intermittent. She can hear fine one day and hear nothing at all the next day.
You know, they just get old too soon. Got to move to the right side of that box and attack this blind. Remember, he's got to hit that bush head on, or they're going to hit him with some severe offline stuff. So he's got to attack that thing.
No. Back.
Oh, you see that? You see there's a
like
delay
she didn't
right
hear
there?
it.
Yeah, it's like she didn't hear it, and then she said, oh, yeah. I hate this for him. I hope he can hang in there. It's a super score going into the blind, and she's an excellent handling dog. Look at this line. She lined it.
Not a whistle. She just blew that one away. What a great blind retrieve by Emmy. 12 points. That is strong. Remember, 3 of the 6 competing here today will go on to the finals.
Sit. He's a high-rolling dog. These are shorter marks. My fear is he's going to be off to the races.
Actually, the dog she's running is probably a better dog than Emmy, but he's also much younger, probably more natural marker, much more talented dog. I mean, from what I've seen just at the young age that he's doing this stuff.
The whole family thing's going on here. This is Bob, Emmy's son, and of course Mark and Dana are husband and wife, and she's a much better handler and trainer than he is, and she'll tell you all about it.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
You're telling me the truth. Okay. Bob, a full 6 years younger than Emmy.
He's a super talented dog, very strong marker. If you'll remember, Bob was a dog who came out in the semifinals last year here in Northfield, saw his first, or actually the last mark down, left to go get it, and we never saw Bob again. So
that was unfortunate. Felt bad for Dana on that one. We did find Bob eventually, too, in another town, I think it was.
Well, he came back. They've worked hard, and look, he's in the semis again, and I think he'll be in the big dance before it's over.
Over.
Tough mark. This long left-hand bird is a tough mark.
About half the time when this mark goes out there, it bounces off a couple of those trees. A real true-to-life situation, but it doesn't make it any easier to mark that way.
And you got all that tall grass, and you got the foxtail and everything kind of hampering the scent. And again, the longer he stays out there and hunts for this bird, the more he starts to breathe out of his mouth. He's not able to use his nose as well, and it just gets more and more difficult. There we go. Now you got to run a solid blind here and cross our fingers.
Right there. Right there.
Attack that bush. Got to have a quick whistle here. If a dog gets left or right at all, you got to hit it quick. Sucking left. Nice whistle.
Here in Northfield, Minnesota, Oak Ridge Kennels, a place where they develop a lot of the tools for retriever training. Tom Bakken and his firm.
Outstanding facility, bunch of great trainers. If you'll notice right here, she's in the shadows here. There's not really much she can do about it. This is just kind of bad luck. Makes it very difficult for the dog to see you. If she comes out, she's out of the handler's box. It's kind of a rock and a hard place thing. There's just no good place to be right now.
This particular blind also requires excellent vision on the part of the handler. You have to be able to keep up with that dog, know where it is, and have good depth perception, too.
And this is not the blind to have a yellow dog on. I mean, if you'll
That's
notice
right.
that grass
right into the background.
Oh, man, I mean, it's tough to see him. I mean, she can't see him as well. He can't see her as well. You just got to stay in there and fight it out. That's the only thing I know to tell her. That is so difficult. I mean, I don't know how much better a big old camera lens can see than a human eye, but the cameras can barely pick him up.
Well, I guarantee you that our cameras are certainly in a better position to see than our handlers are on this course. It's a tough way to go. It's particularly tough on Bob. And Dana Fritzmeier, 84 points. With his fingers crossed, hope to make it into the top 3. The warm-ups are over at the Big Air Dock, presented by Ducks Unlimited, and we are ready for our first contestants to make that leap off the end of the dock there.
Looks like a Chessie right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's a big Chessie, too. That's Storm, Ken Butler, up here from Tulsa.
That's a long drive. You got to really want to go to great outdoors. Nice jump. Man, I tell you, these great big dogs that can jump this far and get this much speed, it's amazing.
Good.
Need to use all of that runway there, and the Oklahoma team did not. 16 feet and 9 inches. Daisy June and Will Gutman, what a show they put on up in Missoula, Montana, our Super Retriever Series event up there. Big-time crowd pleasers, and Daisy June got a ton of talent.
Well, she's got the creep, doesn't she?
A little bit anxious, but man, what good elevation. Great job of converting that speed into upwards lift. Daisy June, who won the event up in Montana, bust 20 feet here for the best score so far today.
You know, they're jumping in the wind. What do we got going here? What is this?
Jack is a healer, German Shepherd mix, and Jack is a blur. Watch this guy
A
move.
speed demon, huh?
Absolutely.
Let's see this rocket ship
Let's
get
go,
it.
go.
That is pure speed and a great jump, too.
Come on,
Well, he
let's go.
shows you
Good
you do not
boy.
have to be a
Come
Labrador
on.
or a Golden to do
Good
this thing. I mean,
boy.
we're seeing everything, including mixed breeds now, do this.
There are 10 qualifying events this year, expected to be 20 next year. That means we'll be branching out into parts of the country that are not big waterfowling areas. We're going to see more breeds come into this sport, and we're going to see more different breeds do well.
Big Air is officially big time.
Here comes Chad Kalsabach and his dog, Sadie. Long-legged, lots of speed in this one,
Oh,
too.
man, look at that thing run. There's like a black greyhound coming off the ramp.
Makes it totally on speed. Let's take a look at the replay here, and Sadie takes off almost a laser. Hardly any lift at all. But just based on speed, a 2010, that's good enough to take over the lead. The best jump so far. More to come, including world record holder Little Morgan, and 3 more retriever handler teams shoot for the finals. Ready to go again here in Northfield, Minnesota, the Super Retriever Series from Oak Ridge Kennels. The only golden retriever in the field today, that is Chile, handled by Andrea Mecanico of Fridley, Minnesota.
For some reason, when you pair a golden retriever and a female handler together, they are just automatically extremely difficult to beat. And this is no exception. They're very, very strong.
All right, we're looking for the fewest number of faults. 5 points for a major fault, 2 points for a minor fault. Best score so far, Mark Fritzmeier and Emmy with only 12 faults.
Watch your braking penalties right now. That'll be the most frequent major penalty you'll see. Let's take a look at the Sport Dog virtual course. Your first mark comes out to the left, big swing right, 80-yard mark. You got the little eraser bird in the middle. Pick those 3 up, run that very difficult and tight blind. She's going for that long bird right, a little bit offline.
This could be a very fast course. On the other hand, it can be a very tedious, tough course, too.
Andrea's probably our most inexperienced handler. Maybe she can call on a little beginner's luck. You're going to need it on this mark.
Over.
She's She's doing a very experienced handler type thing right here, though. If the dog didn't get a good clean mark, what you should do is handle the dog right to the bird, and that's what she's trying to do.
This assumes that Andrea has done a good job of marking that bird herself. This has been by far the toughest mark for these teams to handle so far.
This is one of those situations, and it happens a lot in retriever trials and tests where you set something up, shouldn't be that difficult, but for some reason, the dog just doesn't see it like you think they will.
Chile.
Long mark left. Got to keep a tight line. If you drift off line at all, you put yourself in a real poor situation getting in this tall grass. Pow. Nice work. Little button hook right there. Got a 2-point penalty. If you perfectly stepped on it, she would have had 0. But that's just almost as good as you can do it.
Right now, this team is in second place as it stands, but
still got to finish that blind.
a lot of potential faults there, especially if the dog gets away from the handler.
She's doing a nice job with a quick whistle. They're going to hold her extreme. Oh, little drag back there. What happens is some of the dogs who ran in front of her actually picked that blind up, and 1 or 2 of them may have dropped it right there in that area. As the Golden was going through, the Golden nose, which is far superior to almost any retriever, picked up a little scent there and kind of broke her down. A big left back here. Let's make it happen. There we go. You know, a Golden is probably just as tough as a yellow lab to run in this. I mean, look there. Look at that. I mean, the grass is the identical color to the Golden. Dig it out of there. Come on, Chile. She can smell something. There it is.
52 faults, so they do a good job of stopping the bleeding in the final moments of that retrieve. Chile and Andrea currently in third place. We're taking 3 teams to the finals. The last 2 teams are yet to run. We'll be back with that a little bit later. Right now, over to the Big Air competition presented by Ducks Unlimited. Possibly some new Big Air competitors on the way right there. But right now, the German Wirehair. This is a breed you may have seen Mrs. Ruger performing at the Great Outdoor Games. And here on the Super Retriever Series, tremendous Big Air dog. A lot of height. We'll see if it runs in the breed.
Oh, nice. What is it about every one of them? They all just get tremendous height.
Yes, it's the German Wirehair thing. It's a super Big Air. What a jump. The best of the day so far. 21 feet and 5 inches.
This is an energetic group right here. You know, when you watch Sparky and his handler get out there, you just don't know who's going to actually get to the bird first.
Milt Wilcox from Huntington Woods, suburb of Detroit. You may recognize him in his Detroit Tigers uniform. Used to pitch for him.
Nice throw.
Well, it ought to be. He's pitching bumpers now and doing a great job of it. 21-3. That is going to be competitive here today in Northfield.
Here we go, man. This is why I am in Northfield, Minnesota.
What is it?
Little Morgan and Mike Jackson. Little Morgan, the world record holder.
I could watch this dog jump all day long. It is absolutely amazing. Every time he takes off, it looks like he's never coming down. Oh, out of the camera again. Our camera guys still cannot figure out what they got to do to stay with Little Morgan.
Just incredible. And a very, very bad throw on the part of Mike Jackson. That was completely behind him. Plus, it was a pheasant. Now, you had that. What sense does that make? Here is Raider. Now, I watched Raider in the practice yesterday. Never made it over 15 feet. But,
No.
You know, he's not a practice guy, man. He's a game-time player.
No.
you know, this happens a lot in this sport. They will not get really going until the adrenaline gets going in the
Get it, Raider!
competition. Then they'll bust a big jump. As in the case of Raider. That was nice.
You know, watching Raider, she reminds me a lot of Haley, who's from this area, that set the world record last year at 23-4.
Good jump, 21-6. Mike Jackson and Little Morgan, though not surprisingly, in the lead in our Big Air. Retrievers coming up next, our #1 seeded team. J. Paul Jackson and Achilles coming up.
ESPN's presentation of the Super Retriever Series is brought to you by Natural Life Pet Products, people helping pets naturally. Diamond Pet Jeans, they just fit better. And by these fine companies, including Frog Togs, 100% waterproof, windproof, breathable, and affordable.
My name's Keith Allison from Pea Ridge, Arkansas. This is Abby. Her registered name is War Eagles Ebony and Abby. She's a hunting retriever champion. We had to make a decision this time. Things were different. Cosmo ran last year in Stuttgart and finished 4th. And this year, Abby's kind of come around and turned into be a little more consistent dog than he has. And having to take 2 dogs into the semifinals and making a choice, I went with Abby just because she's the more consistent dog. Cosmo's got more experience and is an older dog, but he has a tendency to get a little loose at these events. I'm much more comfortable with her at the line.
Well, I know Keith hates to leave old Cos behind today, but all thoughts today are on Abby. They're not thinking about Cosmo right now.
Oh, right. What a tough decision for him to have to make. But once you get here and you step to that line, you better get focused.
Right.
It's going to take everything he's got to get her through this thing. We're off to a rough start on that right-hand bird. Maybe should have dug it out. Nice job. Long left-hand bird, settled up, and run that blind.
Abby!
Abby's not a hard charger, very slow and meticulous, and sometimes these dogs come to the top when they tally up all the points at the end of the day.
That's right. Kind of mistake for you, especially in a course like this where you got to get in the area, dig these marks out. Can't overrun them.
Speaking of overrun them, that's what you got to look out for on this blind.
Yeah, you got to finish this blind. Poor line right out of the gate.
Right.
Oh, look at that, Tommy. She knew exactly where she was supposed to go. She thought she was going to go around the bushes. When she figured out she couldn't, she said, "Man, I got to go and get in there." So.
Not going to get away with it.
That's right. Can't get away with it this time.
52 points by Andrea Mecanico in Chile is the figure to beat so far.
He's in good shape to do it. 2/3 of the way there. Almost there. Pow! Wow. Nice job.
17. That's going to take over second place. Great job by Keith, Allison, and Abby. Dory set to go to the finals as it stands right now, but J. Paul Jackson and Achilles will have something to say about that.
Being the #1 seed, we've had the ability to take a look and watch all the other dogs run, so I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on, and I've developed my game plan. It's just whether or not he cooperates and I don't make a mistake as a handler along the way. This big guy, he just runs really fast. I want to make sure that he doesn't blow right through that right-hand mark or that he doesn't get too deep into the woods on this left-hander. Now, this is a big, strong, hard-running son of a gun.
Our #1 seed going in. He's not actually our #1 seed to start, but I mean, he has absolutely dominated the field. You got to say he's the favorite.
We started a couple of days ago with 25 champion dogs in this field. And Achilles has truly, as you say, Justin, dominated, and look at that. That's one of the reasons.
I mean, Achilles! He's smoking hot right now, and he's the hot dog right now. I mean, what else can you say? He's just run through everything, smashed every mark, picked them all up like he put them out there himself.
Good dog, all right.
Wow. Perfect so far today.
Just an average blind, and he's in great shape.
Score to beat is 12. Mark Fritzmeier and Emmy.
Hit this hole right here and make it happen.
Back!
Poor line. Scallop the cast a little bit. 6 points out of the 8. Let's see if he holds this line for a while. Big, hard-running dog, just like J. Paul said. You know, when he was a puppy, he cut his foot really badly, and hence the name Achilles. A little trivia there for you, Tom.
Yeah, it's good trivia. And he is running this line apparently just perfectly. One whistle. Near perfectly. Yeah, he's right on it. So when you hear Paul say Achilles, heel, and they walk out of the box there, they walk out in first place. 8 points. That's 3 days they have wired this field. Northfield, the odds-on favorites. They're going to make the finals, along with Emmy and Mark Fritzmeier, Keith, Allison, and Abby. Great to have you with us today. We'll see you next time on the Super Retriever Series.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPNOutdoors.com.